It is very early in the morning and we are gonna be doing a little get ready with me Q&A video. I asked you to ask me questions and you did. And there are some really good questions, but also some difficult ones. Like, I was thinking about this for way too long and some of these could have been like a full video in itself. So I'm gonna try. Wow, these birds, they are also awake. I'm gonna try to answer all of these questions kind of concisely, but I'm gonna do my best to answer them. But like some of these questions, they could have been like a 30-minute video. All right, let's zoom in a little bit. This is the first Q&A I've done on my channel, so I'm gonna do my best to multitask. I'm gonna do my best to not talk about the makeup too much. All right, let's start with an easier one. And one of the questions was, what was your first makeup item? By the way, I'm using this Live Life in Coral lip gloss by Essence at first. And it's a little hard to answer because I distinctly remember kind of like 3 things happening around when I was like 12 years old, and I don't know exactly what the order was that happened in. But when it comes to eyeshadow, I had these very big Claire's palettes. Honestly, if I would use those now, I would be shocked at the quality. I am sure those palettes were really bad, but like those kind of like rainbow palettes with the little round pans. I don't know if anybody else had those, but I would just like play around with those before I ever saw really a tutorial. It was just like vibing with the palettes and with those little sponge applicators. By the way, I'm gonna mention everything I use down below, just to be sure if you want to know anything. And I believe I was actually doing a lot of very gray eye looks. Like, it was the time for gray eye looks. Everyone was wearing gray eyeshadow on TV and I was doing that as well. Then this kind of ties into another question I got, but at some point I bought a Maybelline kind of like mid-tone pink, cool tone pink, slightly shimmery lipstick, and it was called something like Pink Hurricane. It was the first lip product I think I bought. Like that I really distinctly remember. I remember going like into the city center with my mother, and I didn't really know what to look for. Like, I was just like new to everything, absolutely new to everything. I didn't know what Maybelline was. I didn't know what Rimmel was. I didn't know what all of these brands were that I could buy in the drugstore at the time. By the way, I'm using some setting powder because this is gonna be a long day and a hot day, and I don't want my eyeshadow to crease. I don't want to risk it. And it was actually a pretty good lipstick, but I was actually looking for something a little bit lighter. But again, I didn't know about the options. I didn't really know what I was looking for. I didn't even know that we had matte and cream lipsticks. And then another one, like, as I said, I don't know what the order was these were in. Another one was a blush. And the funny thing is, I went into like the city center. I was like, okay, I want this blush. I believe it was Rimmel or something. And it was kind of like this nudie pink mauvey, light mauvey blush. And there was this drugstore that was like a 5-minute bike ride from the city center, and they had like 20% off all makeup on Fridays, like Friday night and Saturday. So that was a really good deal. I didn't have a lot of money. I mean, I was probably like 11 or 12 years old. I'm gonna be using this Spring Magic palette, and I'm gonna go kind of like, I guess I kind of should go a little pinky. I was thinking before I should go into these like cool tone neutrals, but maybe that's not the vibe. I'm also gonna keep it a little light. And so we picked out the blush in the city center, and then we were like, okay, we should go to that one drugstore because they have the deal. And I just quickly went inside on my own, and my mom was like, remember, it was Rimmel. And I went inside and I just bought the first kind of like pinky mauve blush that I saw, because I did not know the differences between the brands. I did not like know anything. I was very young. All right, so that was not a very concise answer to this question, but I just like those I really, really distinctly remember. Okay, next one is, what do you and your boyfriend slash fiance, he's not my fiance, do together for fun, and what is your fave food? Is he your fiance? So no, the answer is no. We love going on walks. We do daily walks together, or like basically daily. We actually like working out together. We have kind of like a home gym situation, but it's like in the shed, like in our garden. So we actually, like when we're together, we are more active. Like we both have desk jobs. We like try not to sit around all day, but sometimes it kind of happens. So yeah, going on walks, we like going out to eat, we like going to the movies, if there are movies that we like to see. We like watching like series together. We are both people that are sometimes a little too into like our own projects. Like we let each other be for sure, and we just like to do the things, like just the daily things to unwind, mostly together. Sometimes we game together as well, and sometimes I do a game and he watches, or the other way around. And the next question is, what do you do when you're not filming for YouTube? Okay, so I really like going for walks. I love kind of like being in nature. I just try to be active. Like sometimes it's hard to be active with the job that I have. So I'm trying to pick things to do that get me like on the move. About once a month, me and my sister, we do kind of like this girly shopping museum. I can never say that word. Museum day. And then we go to a fun exhibition and we just like eat something, like, or eat a lot of different things. We kind of go on like a shopping museum food tour in like a different city, maybe go to Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Utrecht sometimes, and we just really enjoy doing that. By the way, tonight I'm going to the beach. Actually, I haven't been to the beach in such a long time, and I think it's gonna be like pretty fun. I'm not gonna be like laying down in a bikini. Like sometimes that really stresses me out because I get sunburned, or like, of course I put on sunscreen, but I'm still scared I get sunburned. I love to read, and I love to do creative things. Like I make my own clothes. I sometimes make my own earrings, kind of like those polymer clay earrings. I love to do that. What else do I do? Like I'm a pretty creative person. I try to be either creative or more active. Like sometimes I will watch like a movie or something, but honestly, I'm not doing that a lot. And now I'm just talking about like hobbies, but someone asked me what I do. So then I will be talking about like other work stuff that I do. Okay, someone asked me, what do I do for a living? How did I become interested in makeup? All right, so what I do for a living, I am a database administrator. It is basically IT, like I'm in IT. Like it's a desk job, and I just make sure that the databases are working. So I'm not in the data. I don't know anything about the data. I make sure that the people that work with the data can do so. And it is not a very glamorous job, and I honestly wouldn't have expected, like, I don't know, 5 years ago. I've been doing this for about 2 years, a little over 2 years. I wouldn't have expected, like, even like a month or two before I decided to try for this job, that I would be doing this. And the reason is mainly because this is not exactly in my field of interest in a way. Like, of course, I have done a lot with computers. If I need something, like I need to learn something with computers, I can easily do that. Like I have worked with computers, of course. But in a way, it's more like that type of work really fits the type of person that I am. And I feel like it really fits my lifestyle. I feel like if you kind of like take away the... How should I explain this? It's like I wouldn't really have expected it because I didn't really know what it was, and it's just not like, I guess it's not a very glamorous job. And I am someone who has very specific hobbies. I love to do like creative things for hobbies. I love to do YouTube. I actually am kind of a writer. Like I have tried to write books in the past. I didn't mention that before, but I have kind of like phases I go through where I'm super inspired, but I also am very, very like harsh on myself and too perfectionistic sometimes to actually accept that I still need to learn a lot about that. The thing is, it has nothing to do with any of my typical interests. It has nothing to do with what I usually do and like the kind of person that I am. I'm just a very girly person. I love fashion, I love makeup. I've actually been in musicals, I've been on stage, I've done a lot of acting and singing and dancing, and then here I am like restoring a database or making a backup of a database. It just, in a way, it doesn't make sense, but while I'm doing it, just like not before, like when I'm thinking about it, but while I'm doing it, it just fits and I like the work, and it's a chill job. I do like my colleagues a lot. Like we have a great team going on, and the whole vibe of my job is just really good, and I can work from home a lot, and that is also just helping with this whole situation. Like if I would have to go into the office every day, I don't know how many videos I would be able to produce. Like it would be tough. Like filming after being in the office, I've tried it, I've done it a few times, but it has never been truly successful. Maybe I could have gotten used to it, but like then I would start filming at like 8, and if my brain is kind of like scattered, I'm just making so many mistakes, and I'm just saying things over and over again, and then it also takes a long time to edit videos, and that's not what you want. So yeah, long story short, I am a database administrator, and nobody really expects it from me. A lot of the time people are like, do you like your job? And the answer is yes, I do like my job. It works very well for me. I also really like my lifestyle. Like, I think that when you're looking for a job, think about the life you want as well. Like, what kind of life do you want to build around it? It's not like the topic of the job has to be the most interesting topic ever in the world, because maybe you have to be in the office 5 times a week, and it is not what you want. It could not be what you want. Okay, how did I get into makeup? I need to focus. I am using the Essence Baby Got Bronze. So that didn't go well. I'm gonna take a brush. So I don't really remember exactly how I got into makeup. I think it was a long time coming. I think it was a very, very natural thing for me, and that is also why I am still into makeup so many years later. I do feel like this hobby has taken on many different forms. Like at first I was just reading blogs, then I started a Instagram, and then I started doing YouTube myself, and I feel like being a creator, it's like a whole new like level, a whole new way of going about this thing. Like I am not consuming that much content anymore, and I totally forgot to use my primer. I am not consuming that much content anymore. I am still consuming some content from like my favorite creators, and there are some brands that are new to me. I will be watching videos, But a lot of the time I kind of decide that I'm gonna make a video on something myself, and then I won't be watching a lot of videos on it. Like at first I would just be go away, go away. At first I would be doing all the research, a lot of research whenever something came out, and I would take a long time. I would make a list of things that I wanted to try. I'm gonna grab my primer. I would make a list of things I wanted to try, and it would take me a while to actually buy anything on that list. Like I would take my time and think about it and think about it. Is this gonna work? Applying my primer on top of my bronzer. Maybe. Maybe this is the hack I didn't know I needed. Okay, that is looking quite alright. But yeah, I would make a list. And I would wait a really long time before I bought anything on the list. I thought I was like the craziest makeup shopper back then. Now I really am. Like in comparison, like I spent back then maybe like 50 to 100 euros a month on makeup, like maximum. Like I didn't buy a lot of makeup and my collection was pretty small. I had like 10 eyeshadow palettes. I know for like when compared with the regular consumer, someone who isn't that much into makeup, yes, it's a lot. But I really thought that I was the epitome of like a makeup shopping addict, and like I was just buying some drugstore makeup, maybe a little bit of indie here and there. It honestly wasn't too bad. But okay, how I got into makeup. I think it was this. I loved dressing up like a fairy, like different figures when I was a child. Like, how do you say that? It was like costumes. I was wearing costumes. My mom made my costumes herself and they were amazing. And I wanted to wear them every day. Every day after school, I would come home and I would dress up. And for special occasions, my mom would actually put like the makeup on me. Like she had the face paint and she would face paint me and it would be super cool and I loved it and it was like in my fantasy world. And I feel like from that I kind of became interested in makeup in a way, and I feel like it all kind of like accelerated by the time I started watching Pretty Little Liars. And now we're coming back to that lipstick. I had been wearing, I think, but I'm not entirely sure, I think I've been wearing a little bit of eyeshadow before that. But then in one of the first episodes of Pretty Little Liars, Hannah's mom said to her, "Is that a new shade of lipstick? I really like it on you," or something like that. Something in that vein. And I thought Hannah was like the coolest girl I had ever seen on TV. Like I thought all the Pretty Little Liars girls were so cool. And I'm like, they were all doing stupid stuff and lying and I was such a fan. But the fact that such a cool girl was wearing lipstick made me wanna wear lipstick. And so I ended up in the drugstore with my mom trying to find kind of like a pinky lipstick. I felt like she was wearing a way lighter lipstick than I ended up going for, but I honestly, I didn't understand how to look for a certain type of lipstick. I did not. So it kind of like started with that lipstick and I just wanted to be like the Pretty Little Liars girls. I totally wanted to be like them. Like they were so cool. Like one of them was dating her teacher and they were all lying and doing dumb stuff, but I don't know. I loved them. I wanted to be them. I was always watching these videos about their outfits. I'm not talking fast enough. But yeah, I feel like it kind of went from there. And I started kind of reading Dutch beauty blogs. And from the Dutch beauty blogs, I did that for quite a while. I went to Dutch makeup YouTube, and from that I kind of rolled into English makeup YouTube. So I wasn't really watching Jaclyn Hill when she first started out. I wasn't watching Laura Lee or Manny MUA when they first started out. That was up until a little bit later. Like I didn't realize the world. Like, I didn't realize what was out there. So it really had these phases, but it always felt like supernatural. Like, it always felt like I was meant to be into this, and that's why I've been into this for like, I don't know, 16, 17 years. I'm 28. All right, we have a lot of kind of like makeup related questions. And for this one, I'm gonna like stall the makeup applying a little bit and show you something. So someone said, I'd like to hear about your best of Boozy Shop. So if you don't know, Boozy Shop is kind of like a Dutch web shop. They are a Dutch web shop. I feel like other countries can also shop from them, but I couldn't find a lot of information about it. If you're from outside of the Netherlands or Belgium, have you shopped from them? Is that a thing? But they have a lot of different makeup items, and they do like next day delivery. They are so quick. They have Essence, they have Catrice, they have like almost all of the drugstore brands that are available here in the Netherlands. They have K-Beauty, they have so many different things. They have viral makeup, they have the Tear foundation. Like, sometimes it can be maybe a little bit more expensive than it would be, for example, you would buy it on YesStyle, but you can get it really quickly. And if you're in the Netherlands, I would advise like checking out this web shop, because I feel like it is the best, like most up-to-date makeup web shop. They also have some indie. They also have some Luna Beauty. They used to have Nabla. I don't know if they still have it. Like, they really update a lot, and they try to be fast with getting like the new releases. And a lot of the things that I show you on this channel are from Boozy Shop. So this question, best of Boozy Shop, it is a very like tough question. It's a big question. Like, they have so much makeup there. So I decided to just go like through my orders of the past few months, and I picked out a few things that I'm going to show you that maybe you haven't seen from me yet. All right, so my current day cream is the oil-free ultra moisturizing lotion with birch sap from Cosrx. This is a very lightweight, a very easy to sink into the skin moisturizer. It's not heavy, but it still feels very hydrating, and I feel like this is perfect for summer. I'm also wearing this today. I'm wearing this like day and night, and this is just really nice, and you get a lot. The thing that I love is you get a lot. If you buy a day cream in the Netherlands, it's usually like 30 milliliters or maybe 50. This is 100 milliliters. I really like this one. It doesn't irritate my skin. I have very sensitive skin. Then I also bought this one from Boozy Shop. This is the Inky List Glycolic Acid Exfoliating Body Stick. So this is amazing. I've been using this so much. I use it kind of like at the back of my feet, and it just clears up all the dry skin. My feet are looking super smooth. They are way smoother now than they have been like for years in the summer. Like, they are so smooth now. They are not dry. And you can use this under your armpits to make the skin there super smooth, and then your armpits don't get smelly. Like, you can still sweat. It's not a deodorant. It doesn't have any of those like deodorizing, like, what's it called when you sweat less? Antiperspirant. Can you also say that in English? But this, because it kind of like takes away the dead skin cells, because it kind of exfoliates the top layer of your skin, like everything that usually makes you smell bad is removed. So I actually have been using this under my armpits. Like, I started out with this under my armpits, like randomly doing that one time after I had like shaving my armpits and they were a little irritated. I put this on and they look super smooth, and I noticed I wasn't smelly at all for the whole day. And I think this works way better than a deodorant for me, because my armpits get kind of irritated because of deodorant, and this doesn't irritate them, and I'm not smelly, and I'm not a very sweaty person. I have to say that I don't sweat a lot. Like, it doesn't really happen a lot. So this is great for me. If you're not a sweaty person, you just want to have kind of like that end of the day like smelliness because you've been sitting behind a desk or something, like you have been squeezing your armpits together a little bit too much. If you want to counteract that, then this is really nice. The SPF that I've been using, I believe this is also, I think I bought this from Boost Shop? Probably. You can also find this on YesStyle and other places. So this is the Perito Daily Soft Touch Sunscreen. This one is the one with ceramides. It's a little bit more hydrating, but it's still not greasy at all. It sinks in the skin very quickly. It's hydrating, but it's not greasy. It is just very easy to use. I kind of use this as kind of like a complement to my day cream, but I use it every day. I really like this one. It's been working out really well for me. It doesn't break me out. It is great. All right, and then something that I got from Boost Shop as well is the Catrice Plumping Lip Liner. This is a kind of like creamy lip liner when you first apply it, then it dries down and it stays really long, and I really like the shades. As I said, there's also Luna Beauty at Boost Shop. This is the highlighter palette. I bought the Moonshroom collection from there, and because of that I could be very fast with my video on this collection. They don't have all the Luna Beauty launches right away, but this was a bigger launch, so I think they made it like more of a deal because of that. Like they haven't had the, like I haven't seen the liquid blushes there yet. And with the powders it also took a longer time. And then I also got some Revolution there. Like all the Revolution that I buy is basically from Boost Shop. This is the Enchanted Icon eyeshadow palette. I've been really liking these Icon eyeshadow palettes. I feel like they are quite a nice formula. There are quite nice shimmers in here. Some of them are a little bit like shimmery, duochromy, quite impactful on the eye. I actually quite like the cream eyeshadows that we have in these palettes, and I like the mattes. Like, these are not the most pigmented eyeshadows of my entire life, not the most pigmented mattes of my entire life, but they are really nice and they're just very flattering. It's a flattering look. I'm sorry if this video is gonna be too many years long. I'm really trying, okay? Apparently this is not my strong suit. I don't know how people do this. I have the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Cheek Tint. I bought this before my low buy. I did buy this before my low buy. I hadn't had a chance to try it yet. I've heard very good things about it, so we're gonna try it. All right, next question was, what are my favorite brands and why? And what brands did I used to love but don't anymore? So my favorite brands, I feel like I have many by now, and you can definitely tell on my channel what my favorite brands are because I will always review them. But I really love a few drugstore brands. I really love Kiko Milano. Kiko Milano just does a lot of fun collections in my eyes. I know they can be a little repetitive, but if you really like dive into it, then it's not as bad to me as it seems. I just have a lot of fun with the releases that they have. The quality is usually really nice. Not always the eyeshadows, but I really love the cheek products and the lip products, and just, I don't know, the quality of the products. And if you find another like affordable Kiko Milano gem, it is just really fun to review. Like a lot of the brands that I really like nowadays are like fun to review as well. By the way, I find this applicator a little weird. It's a little odd. I feel like Kiko Milano wouldn't be one of my favorite brands if they didn't do their limited editions. Like, I just feel like their limited editions are very fun. Then we also have Unearthly Cosmetics. They are quite an edgy brand. Honestly, maybe a little bit more edgy than I would go for, or I would expect myself to like. But their quality is just amazing. The eyeshadows, I think, is now my favorite eyeshadow formula. I love just how their eyeshadow looks. They are amazing. Then we have Catrice. I just feel like Catrice does great things for the price. I really love their blushes. I really love their bronzers. I feel like they are always kind of like mixing it up, changing it up. They also have those fun limited editions. I don't always love everything that's in the limited editions, but I feel like it's just fun seeing what they're doing now. And then they also have the updates, like the regular line updates that they do twice a year. That's also a lot of fun. Like, I love discovering new products, and they give me a lot in that regard. And there's just a lot of like videos to be made about that. Like, I can talk about Catrice for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Like, I have done it on my channel. And then we have Luna Beauty. Really love the eyeshadow quality of Luna Beauty, and I also love the whole vibe. I feel like if I have to choose a brand that represents my vibe, it's probably Blur Beauty. It's a little bit more soft, it's a little bit more girly, but there's still a little bit of an edge to it. They do use some deeper shades sometimes, and just the makeup style itself is really like this neutral with a twist, neutral with some color, and I really love that. Brands that I used to love, I think it's kind of funny, but I have been getting back into brands that I used to love, and I feel like if I would have answered this question like a year ago, my answer would have been a little different, or I would have more to tell you. I'm gonna use the Unearthly High Temp bronzer, but like, for example, MAC used to be a brand I was really into. I didn't buy it a lot because it was a little too expensive. I feel like they're doing better now, but I feel like at this point, I feel like they've gotten too expensive. And there are just brands that do kind of what they do, but better. Like Kiko Milano, I feel like is the more affordable version in a way of MAC when it comes to their regular line. Like they have so many different formulas, and if I want a good matte lipstick, for example, I could go to Kiko Milano. Then we have Revolution. I loved Revolution. When I was younger, I had a lot of Revolution in my collection. I had a lot of eyeshadow palettes. Like half of my eyeshadow palettes were Revolution. And I feel like they have stepped it up a little. I don't know. I've been enjoying their releases a bit. Like, are they my new favorite brand? No, but I have been enjoying them. So I feel like I'm kind of at this moment for this year giving them the benefit of the doubt, but I am like picking and choosing what I'm trying. Not everything is good. Not everything looks like something I want to try. It really depends, but sometimes I do have like good launches that I enjoy. So that's not really an answer to your question. Okay, I have 3. Inglot. I used to really love the whole vibe of Inglot with their build your own palette. I built my own palette at some point, never used it, and then I kind of just got bored of the whole brand. Like they weren't really innovative. I feel like they were really like leaning heavily on the single eyeshadow, like magnetic pen trend, and I feel like a lot of brands that have done that haven't really like moved into the new era really well. Like a lot of brands that were really into single eyeshadows kind of got stuck in that, and now we're really in like a palette era. Maybe single eyeshadows are coming back a little bit, but people are into palettes. And I feel like Inglot didn't really like follow the trends, and sometimes like it's good to have a brand identity. Sometimes you just have to accept that things aren't working. Then NYC was a drugstore brand that was available here in the Netherlands, and they haven't been for a while. Like they are no longer sold, but I feel like if they still were sold, I would not buy them. Like they weren't good. It wasn't a good brand. They didn't have good quality. I didn't know what I was talking about. I thought it was good quality. It was not. And then one that might shock some people is I am not that into Colourpop anymore. I have talked a bit about that on my channel. And the thing is, I just feel like other brands are more interesting. They are not that affordable anymore. Oh, I'm taking way too much now. They are not that affordable anymore. Like the prices are good, but not amazing. Like they used to have such affordable makeup, and I don't feel like we're there anymore. And it's just not a brand that makes sense for me to review, because like everybody has already reviewed it before I get the chance, because it has to get here from the US. It takes a few weeks and everybody has already gotten their PR. So it doesn't make sense for me to be into this brand. I also feel like there are other brands that just do better theming. They just do. I feel like the theming of Colourpop is usually kind of okay, in the okay realm. I have to say I do have still some favorites from Colourpop. I do quite like the palettes that I have, but every time I think about maybe buying another palette, I don't do it. Alright, I just ruined this cheek. I put way too much of this on top and it's not looking good. I'm gonna take this off. Be right back. Reapplying the primer. Alright, next question. What viral makeup products do you love the most at the moment, and which ones didn't work for you? Okay, so I've been really into the lifter lip liners. I think these are really nice. I really like the application of them. I feel like they are not too creamy, but they are also not like hard. And I feel like they last really long. Really like the colors of them. I've also been really liking, do I have one here? I haven't tried this shade yet, but I've been really liking the lifter glosses. Really, really beautiful glosses. They are hydrating, they are shiny. They just make your lips feel and look really good. And I've been really liking the NYX Buttermelt bronzer. It's just been working out really well for me. I really like the shade that I have of that one. I have the lightest shade, and honestly I am not super focused on things being viral or not. I'm not super aware of that. I try not to pay too much attention to that in a way. I don't know, maybe I just don't know how to pay attention to that properly. Like, maybe I'm just not in the know. And then ones that I didn't like the Maybelline like liquid blushes. I felt like these were patchy, they were hard to blend. They kind of got stuck in a weird way on your face where you place them. And whoops. And I thought these blushes by Essence were just okay. I feel like they are going viral because they are like very affordable. But if something being really affordable is supposed to be the reason that I have to get excited, it doesn't work that way for me. It doesn't get me like into a product. I mean, I have so much makeup. Why would I use something that is good for the price? It doesn't make any sense. Like a while ago, like I don't know, 3 years ago, we had those small e.l.f. palettes, like the bite-sized palettes. I didn't like those. The quality was not good, but people were hyping those up because they were good for the price, and I couldn't get on board. I couldn't get into it. It wasn't for me. It wasn't my thing. I just didn't think that the quality was good, but okay, they were like a few dollars, a few euros. I feel like reapplying was a good choice. Like, this is looking much better now. I'm gonna have to be careful with the highlight though. So I feel like good for the price does make sense when you really have quite a budget and you don't really have money to spend on makeup and you really need something. You really need to buy a new eyeshadow palette, you really need to buy a mascara, you don't have money for a 20-euro mascara. I totally understand that. I don't totally understand that part of it, and I will tell you about things that are good for the price that they are, but I won't get like super excited about that. So I feel like those Essence ones, just good for the price. I feel like there are so many way better liquid blushes that are not even that expensive. Let's see, I don't know where the bronze one is, but these Revolution drops, I feel like some people really like these. For me, they really didn't work out. I'm gonna put the highlighter on the back of my hand now. I'm scared to work that in. Much better. I feel like I'm missing a little bit of bronze on that side, just a bit. Gonna take a little bit. So yeah, me not liking good for the price is really like a personal thing because I have so much makeup. If you don't have a lot of makeup, I can still understand it. And I will review those types of products. But for me, they won't be like a favorite. Alright, we have one last question and I only have lips to do. So I'm just gonna answer the question and then I will do my lips. What are your favorite websites or stores to buy makeup and hair products from? So hair products, I am a very simple person when it comes to hair. I have just figured out that changing up my hair products, it's just not something that I enjoy. I don't like taking that risk. I wash my hair like every 5 to 7 days and I just don't want to take the risk. If I try something new, my hair might look bad for a week and I don't want to do that. Like, makeup, it washes off. Like, if I don't like something, it just disappears from my face and I'm totally fine with it. I can just test something and move on. But with my hair, I feel like it's too tricky. And I feel like hair is so important for the way you look. I just don't want to do that. So hair, I will link down below my curly hair routine. I just use a shampoo that I get from Holland & Barrett, and I just use a gel that I get from the Curly Girl Movement is what it is called. That is a website. I don't think you can get it anywhere else. It's just the brand website. So with hair, I can't really give you much of a recommendation. The question of where do you like to shop your makeup from, it's a bit of a tough question. I feel like I shop a lot of makeup from the brand's own website. It's something that I do a lot, but if I don't, like, it depends on the brand. Some brands are better than others, but if I don't, I might shop from Bougie Shop. I already told you about that. Monolith, I have been talking about a lot. Monolith stocks a lot of indie brands. They are a little bit more expensive on Monolith than they are in the US. Of course, because Monolith also has to pay taxes. Like, they pay the taxes for you, you don't have to pay them. I do like shopping from them. They ship pretty fast. I've never had anything come broken. They have a lot of indie brands. You just have to be like aware of when they launch. Like, you have to follow their socials. You have to be aware. You have to follow the countdown because some palettes will be gone very quickly. Like, pay attention because otherwise you might get disappointed. Like, they aren't like rolling restock. They aren't like restocking things in different times. They have launches like every 1 to 2 months. And then I do sometimes shop from the Douglas website. Be aware though that they sometimes kind of like mark up things to give it a discount. I do like Douglas because they do have some brands that I cannot easily get from other places, and they do have next day shipping, and they do have shopping nights. And with shopping nights, they have like 25% off almost everything. Be aware though that the thing that you're buying is actually marked down. I usually buy things at shopping night that I know are a certain price and then go down that certain price. I feel like with their perfumes, they can sometimes like mark it up a little bit, and it's not really fair. But with makeup, I do love shopping from them sometimes. For makeup, it kind of depends. They have some brands like Anastasia Beverly Hills, they have e.l.f., and I do like it if I can get those like 25% off. Then I've been kind of getting into Space NK. I just realized that I wanted to add a little bit of concealer. I've been kind of getting into Space NK. It is a UK web shop, and it is a web shop where they actually sell things that I cannot really find anywhere else. They actually sell things like Rare Beauty, like RMS, Naturium. It kind of feels a little bit Sephora-esque, and I don't have a Sephora near me. Like, there's Sephora in Germany. Am I taking a risk by doing this now? But I am not close to Germany anymore. I used to be, but I'm not anymore. Not that I really went to Sephora a lot there. Like, a lot of Dutchies will do that. They will drive to Germany and then they will go to Sephora. But Space NK has some of those kind of like Sephora US brands that are really hard to come by. Like, even Sephora like France or Germany doesn't really have those brands. So I would say check it out. It's quite a nice web shop. They sometimes have some sales. You get like $5, like €5 off sometimes, or like 10, like they have codes. And I believe they have free shipping above €50, and there's no like surprise taxes for the Europeans who don't like that. Then we also have Kruidvat. I go to Kruidvat a lot. It's the Dutch drugstore. They also have them in Belgium, I believe. Kruidvat is quite a nice drugstore, but if you're not fast enough, everything will be like opened and touched, and it can be kind of like a minefield. Like, you have to kind of open things to know that nobody has swatched them, but you kind of don't want to be that person, but you don't really have a choice. So when I know, sometimes you see like a TikTok or something, and when I know a collection of Essence or Catrice has just arrived to Kruidvat, I can go to them. But if it's like a little later in the week, they were maybe in store on Monday, I go on Thursday, it's like plundered. It isn't looking good. But sometimes Kruidvat can be really, like, really nice. Like, it's everywhere as well. Okay, I'm just gonna apply some setting spray. I've been trying this Power Grip Dewy setting spray. Shockingly fine mist. Major makeup grip. So you have to shake it up. And it does have quite a fine mist. I don't feel like it makes my makeup last much longer, but sometimes I just want something that kind of like sets it, like makes it look less powdery, or kind of like blends things together without it having like a lot of ingredients that my skin doesn't like. Like this doesn't have any alcohol or perfume or something like that. And it just smells like water. So it's not that it's smelling bad because it doesn't have any perfume. Okay, let's take off the lip gloss. I'm gonna take the lifter liner in 06 Line Leader. And I'm gonna apply the Flower Nose Swan Ballet Shine Lipstick in BO5 Endless Summer. Because it's so hot, it has melted a little bit. Okay, so this is the finished look. I hope I answered your questions adequately. I feel like this video is pretty chaotic, but I was doing my best. I was really trying. It's just, sometimes it's hard to multitask. Sometimes it's hard to apply your makeup and think and talk. Okay, this is gonna be everything for this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sending in questions. It was so fun actually, like to see what you want to know from me and to answer them. I had a fun time. Like it was chaotic, but it was fun. And yeah, I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.